I doubled over the kitchen sink, while burning my throat as another violent wave of nausea slammed into me, my body screaming what my mind still refused to fully accept: someone was slowly killing me, and it was happening right under my own roof. "You're being dramatic again, Sarah," Dad muttered without even looking up from his tablet, the same dismissive tone he'd used for months. Vanessa, my stepmom of 6 months, stepped closer, her manicured hand landing on my back with practiced concern that never reached her ice-cold eyes. "Sweetheart, maybe stay home today? I'll make my special calming tea, it always helps." The word special tea sent fresh terror through my veins. Every time I drank or ate anything she prepared since she moved in, I ended up like this, sweating, dizzy, blacking out, barely able to stand. "No," I rasped, forcing myself upright and wiping vomit from my chin. "I have a major biology final. I can't miss it." The real reason I refused? I'd started secretly packing my own food weeks ago, and on those days, I felt normal. No pain. No collapse. Only her cooking poisoned me. Vanessa's smile tightened, just a flicker of something dark before the mask snapped back. "Such a responsible girl," she cooed, turning to Dad. "Right, Michael?" He grunted, eyes still on his screen. Ever since Mom's death 2 years ago and his lightning-fast remarriage, I'd become a ghost in my own house, an inconvenient leftover he no longer wanted to see. I snatched my backpack and lurched toward the door, legs trembling but fueled by pure survival instinct. Just as my fingers touched the handle, Vanessa's voice sliced through the air. "Wait. I blended you a protein smoothie for the road, extra nutrients to fight these little spells of yours." She held out the stainless steel tumbler, nails tapping rhythmically, eyes locked on mine with an intensity that made my skin crawl. Something primal inside me screamed, "Don't touch it." "Thanks, but I'm late," I lied, bolting outside before she could press. Behind the closing door, I heard her murmur to Dad, "So ungrateful," and his quiet agreement felt like a knife twisting in my chest. At school, my best friend Mia took one look at my ashen face and dragged me into the stairwell. "Sarah, you look like you're dying. How much longer are you going to pretend this is normal?" I collapsed against the wall, exhausted. "Dad says I'm attention-seeking. Vanessa acts like the perfect worried stepmom." Mia's voice dropped to a fierce whisper. "It's her food. Every single time. You're fine when you eat at my house or bring your own lunch. She's poisoning you." The words hung heavy between us. "Why?" I breathed, though deep down I already knew. "Your mom's trust fund," Mia said flatly. "You inherit full control in 5 months. She asked you about it 3 times the week she moved in. Mom's money, millions locked until I turned 18. Dad managed it now, but if I disappeared, it would all stay with him, and her. I've been logging everything," Mia continued, pulling up her phone. "Dates, symptoms, photos. You've lost 14 pounds. This isn't in your head." The mirror selfie stared back, hollow cheeks, sunken eyes, a stranger wearing my face. My stomach lurched again, but this time it wasn't nausea. It was rage. "We need proof," I said, voice shaking with sudden determination. "Real, undeniable proof." Mia grabbed my hand. "My cousin works in the lab at the urgent care clinic. We're skipping the exam. Right now. We're getting your blood drawn." The thought of missing the test made my chest tighten, but the idea of going home to another one of Vanessa's special meals terrified me far more. What the blood test would reveal would change everything, and the next message waiting on my phone from Vanessa would make my blood run cold. The urgent care clinic smelled like antiseptic and bad decisions, but right now it felt like the safest place on earth. Mia's cousin, a no-nonsense lab tech named Lauren, took one look at my ghost-white face and the tremor in my hands and skipped every pleasantry. "Sit. Now," she ordered, already prepping the needle. While she drew vial after vial of my blood, Mia rattled off the timeline like a prosecutor. Symptoms started 6 months ago, right after Vanessa moved in. Vomiting, dizziness, hair loss, fatigue, only after eating or drinking anything she makes. She's fine when she brings her own food or eats at my house. We've got timestamps, photos, weight logs, 14 pounds gone in 2 months. Lauren's jaw tightened as she labeled the tubes. I'm fast-tracking this. Toxicology panel, heavy metals, everything. Results in 3 to 4 hours if I push it. She paused, eyes locking on mine. Sarah, do you have somewhere safe to go tonight? Because if this comes back positive, you're not going home. The question landed like a punch. Even the professionals saw the danger I'd been gaslighting myself about for months. Mia answered for me. She's staying with us. My mom already cleared it. Lauren nodded once, sharp. Good. Stay off your phone. Don't tell anyone where you are. I sent Dad a quick text, studying late at Mia's. Be home tomorrow. His reply came in seconds. Vanessa made lasagna. Your favorite. Come eat with the family. Then Vanessa's follow-up, don't disappoint your dad. I made it extra special for you. My thumb hovered over the screen. The words extra special felt like a threat now. I powered off the phone, heart hammering. We killed the next few hours in the waiting area, Mia scrolling through our evidence folder while I stared at the floor trying not to throw up again. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Vanessa's smile, heard the tap-tap-tap of her nails on that damn smoothie cup. At 4:17 p.m., Lauren burst through the door with a doctor in tow, Dr. Patel, toxicology chief. Their faces were stone. We need to speak privately, Dr. Patel said, ushering us into a small consultation room. The door clicked shut. He didn't waste time. Your blood shows dangerously high levels of arsenic. Chronic exposure. It's odorless, tasteless, mimics stomach flu or food poisoning, perfect for someone who wants to stay under the radar. Arsenic. The word echoed in my skull. How much? I whispered. Enough that if this continues unchecked, you won't make it to your 18th birthday, he said bluntly. This isn't accidental. Someone has been dosing you deliberately, consistently, for months. Mia gripped my arm so hard it hurt. We know who, she said. Dr. Patel exchanged a look with Lauren. The hospital is required to report suspected poisoning to the police. They're already on their way. As if on cue, the door opened again. A woman in plainclothes stepped in, badge glinting. Detective Reyes, Metro PD. I need to speak with Sarah Matthews. My legs gave out. Mia caught me before I hit the floor. The detective's voice was calm but firm. We've been listening. Tell me everything, start from the beginning. I started talking. The stomach bugs that only happened after Vanessa's cooking. The weight loss. The sudden interest in my inheritance. The smoothie she tried to force on me this morning. Detective Reyes took notes without interrupting. When I finished, she looked me dead in the eye. We're getting a warrant for the house. If there's arsenic in that kitchen, she's done. My phone, still off, sat heavy in my pocket. I didn't dare turn it back on. Not yet. But one thought kept repeating like a broken record, if they search the house right now, what else are they going to find? The police were rolling toward my house, but Vanessa had just sent one final, chilling message that made my blood freeze. The drive to the police station felt like a dream I couldn't wake from, streetlights blurring past the car window while Detective Reyes drove, her partner following in a separate cruiser. Mia sat beside me in the back, squeezing my hand every few seconds as if to remind me I was still breathing. My phone stayed off, buried in my pocket like a live grenade. I didn't dare turn it on, every vibration I imagined was Vanessa, every notification a new lie. At the station, they put me in a soft-lit interview room, not the cold metal table kind you see on TV, but still suffocating. Detective Reyes sat across from me, recorder between us. Start from the beginning again, she said gently. Every detail. We need it on record. I told her everything twice. The way Vanessa's special teas and smoothies always came with that same sweet smile. How Dad had stopped asking questions after the first few months, brushing off my complaints as teenage drama. The trust fund Mom left, $2.3 million locked until I turned 18, 5 months away. The sudden interest Vanessa showed the week she moved in. So, Sarah, tell me more about this inheritance your mom left you. Sounds like quite the nest egg. Reyes didn't flinch. She just nodded, scribbling notes. We got the warrant 20 minutes ago. Team's already at the house. If there's arsenic anywhere, tea bags, protein powder, the blender, even the sink trap, we'll find it. My stomach flipped. What if she hid it? She won't have time, Reyes said. We moved fast. No warning calls, no heads up. Your dad and Vanessa are still at home, thinking you're just studying late. A knock interrupted us. Another officer leaned in. Search team just radioed. They found a locked box in the pantry behind the flour bags. Inside, multiple unmarked packets of white powder. Field test is positive for arsenic trioxide. Dosage notes in her handwriting, daily schedule, increasing amounts. They also found traces in the kitchen blender and the thermos from this morning. The room spun. The smoothie. The one I almost took. Reyes looked at me, eyes steady. We're moving in now. Swada's on standby, but we're hoping she comes quietly. I swallowed hard. My dad. We'll bring him in too. Separate interviews. If he's clean, he walks tonight. If not, she didn't finish the sentence. Minutes crawled. Then the radio crackled again. Suspect in custody. Vanessa Hargrove detained without incident. She attempted to destroy evidence, tried to pour a pitcher of iced tea down the drain. We recovered it. Father is cooperating, in shock. Bringing both to the station. Reyes turned off the recorder. They're on their way here. You don't have to see them tonight. We can keep you separate. I shook my head. I want to hear what he says. I need to know if he knew. She studied me for a long moment, then nodded. Okay. But from behind glass. You don't go in the room. They led me to an observation booth. Through the one-way mirror, I watched my father shuffle in, hair messy, face pale, looking 10 years older. Vanessa followed, handcuffed, makeup still perfect, expression blank. She didn't look scared. She looked annoyed. Dad sat first. Reyes entered with her partner. Mr. Matthews, your daughter is alive. She's here. She's safe. But she's been poisoned with arsenic for months. Your wife's fingerprints are all over the evidence. Dad's head snapped up. What? No, Sarah's she's been sick, but Vanessa said. Vanessa said a lot of things, Reyes cut in. We have her diary. We have the powder. We have the schedule. She planned to finish the job before Sarah's 18th birthday. Your daughter almost died tonight. Dad's mouth opened and closed. Tears started down his face. I didn't. I swear I didn't know. I thought she was exaggerating. I thought. Vanessa's voice cut through the speaker, calm and cold. He's telling the truth, detective. Michael had no idea. I handled everything. He was too busy grieving his perfect dead wife to notice his living daughter was fading away. The words hit like glass shattering. Dad buried his face in his hands and sobbed. I turned away from the mirror, chest heaving. Mia wrapped her arms around me. You're okay, she whispered. It's over. But it wasn't. Not yet. Because behind the glass, Vanessa lifted her head, stared straight at the mirror, even though she couldn't see me, and smiled. A slow, knowing smile. As if she still had one last card to play. The interrogation was far from finished, and what Vanessa whispered next to the detective would turn everything upside down again. The observation room felt smaller than ever, the air thick with the sound of Dad's broken sobs echoing through the speaker. Vanessa sat perfectly still, wrists cuffed but posture regal, like she was attending a business meeting instead of facing attempted murder charges. Detective Reyes stepped back into the interrogation room, closing the door behind her with a soft click that sounded final. "Mrs. Hargrove," Reyes began, voice flat, "we have your diary, the arsenic packets, the blender residue, the thermos from this morning. We also have your phone. You've been texting Sarah all day, extra special lasagna, don't disappoint your dad." Cute. Almost poetic. Vanessa tilted her head, a faint smile playing at her lips. "You're wasting your time, detective. Those notes are just recipes." "The powder?" "Vitamin supplements. Sarah's been anorexic for years, Michael told me so. She's been lying about her health to get attention." Classic teenager. Dad jerked upright. "That's not true. Sarah's never been like that, she's always been healthy." Vanessa shot him a pitying look. "You were too busy mourning your first wife to notice, darling. I was the one trying to help her." Reyes didn't blink. "We also found arsenic in the iced tea pitcher you tried to dump." "Nice try. And we recovered deleted searches from your laptop. How long does chronic arsenic poisoning take to be fatal? Symptoms of heavy metal toxicity misdiagnosed as flu, inheritance laws for minors in California." Ring any bells? For the first time, Vanessa's composure cracked, just a flicker in her eyes, gone in an instant. "Coincidence," she said smoothly. "I was researching for a true crime podcast I listened to." Dad's voice cracked. "Vanessa, did you do this? To my daughter?" She turned to him slowly, eyes softening in that practiced way that used to fool everyone. "Michael, sweetheart, you know me. I would never hurt Sarah. I love her like my own." He stared at her, tears streaming. "Then why does the evidence say otherwise?" Vanessa leaned forward as far as the cuffs allowed. "Because someone's framing me. Maybe Sarah herself. She's always hated me. Jealous of the attention I give you. She could have planted it all to get rid of me." Dad recoiled. "Sarah would never." "She's 18 in 5 months, Vanessa interrupted, voice dropping to a venomous whisper. "She gets everything. If something happened to me first, she'd have motive too, wouldn't she?" The room went dead silent. Even Reyes paused, pen hovering. Through the glass, my blood turned to ice. She was turning it around, trying to pin it on me. Dad looked toward the mirror, as if he could see me. "No. Sarah's not capable of that. She's the victim here." Vanessa laughed, soft, chilling. "Victims can become very clever when there's millions on the line, Michael. Ask yourself, who benefits most if I'm gone?" Reyes stepped in front of Vanessa, blocking her view of the glass. "Enough games. We're charging you with attempted murder, child endangerment, and evidence tampering. You're done." Vanessa's smile widened. "You'll regret this, detective. When the real evidence comes out, you'll see I'm the one being targeted." As the officers moved to take her to holding, she twisted her head toward the mirror one last time, staring straight at where I stood, hidden. Her lips moved silently, forming 3 unmistakable words. "You're next." My knees buckled. Mia caught me, whispering, "She can't touch you. They've got her." But the fear wouldn't leave. Because Vanessa wasn't panicking. She wasn't begging. She was calm, too calm. Like she still had something up her sleeve. Like she knew something we didn't. The station lights dimmed as night fell, but the real darkness was just beginning, because when they searched Vanessa's car, they found something that made even Detective Reyes go pale. The fluorescent lights in the observation booth buzzed overhead like angry insects as Vanessa's silent threat, "You're next," hung in the air long after the officers had marched her out. Dad remained slumped in the interrogation chair, face buried in his hands, shoulders shaking. Detective Reyes re-entered the booth, her expression grim. "We're not done," she said quietly. "The search team just finished the garage. They found something in the trunk of Vanessa's car." My heart stuttered. "What?" Reyes hesitated, rare for her, then handed me a clear evidence bag through the door. Inside, a small, tarnished silver locket I hadn't seen in years. Mom's locket. The one she wore every day until the accident. The one that vanished from her belongings after the crash. I don't understand, I whispered. Mom was wearing this when she died. The police report said it was lost in the wreck. Reyes's voice dropped lower. It wasn't lost. Vanessa had it. Hidden in a false compartment under the spare tire. And there's more. Inside the locket, tucked behind the photo of you and your mom, was a folded note. Handwritten. Dated 3 days before your mother's car accident. She unfolded a photocopy for me to read. The handwriting matched Vanessa's perfectly. The words blurred as tears filled my eyes. Mom's death, 2 years ago, ruled an accident after her brakes failed on a rainy highway, hadn't been an accident at all. Vanessa had been planning this for longer than I'd ever imagined. She hadn't just married Dad, she'd orchestrated the entire thing. Dad's voice crackled over the speaker from the other room. What's happening? Why are you showing me that? Reyes had returned to him. Your wife kept souvenirs, Mr. Matthews. Your first wife's locket. A confession note from Vanessa herself. She tampered with your wife's brakes. She murdered her. Then she came for your daughter. Dad made a sound I'd never heard before, a raw, animal wail. No, no. I met Vanessa at grief counseling, she was there for me, she said she'd lost her sister. She lied, Reyes said flatly. We pulled her real records. No sister. She targeted you months before the accident. She knew about the trust fund. She knew about Sarah. She's been playing the long game. Through the glass, Dad looked directly at the mirror again, straight at me, even though he couldn't see. His mouth moved, forming one word over and over, sorry. I pressed my palm against the glass, tears streaming. For the first time since everything started, I believed him. He hadn't known. He'd been manipulated, grieving, blind. But it didn't erase the pain. It didn't bring Mom back. Reyes stepped beside me. We're reopening your mother's case as homicide. Vanessa's facing 2 counts of first-degree murder, plus the attempted murder on you. She's not walking away from this. But Vanessa's final smile haunted me. That calm, knowing curve of her lips. People like her didn't break easily. They adapted. As if reading my mind, Reyes's radio crackled. Detective, holding cell update. Hargrove requested a phone call. She's calling her lawyer. Reyes frowned. She doesn't have counsel yet. Monitor it. Record everything. A new dread settled in my chest. Who was Vanessa calling? And what was she planning to say in that one short conversation? Because when she spoke next, her voice came through the speaker, smooth, unhurried, almost amused. Hello? Yes, it's me. They found the locket. They know about the brakes. But they haven't found the second set of documents yet. The ones in the safe deposit box. Make sure they disappear. Tonight. The line clicked dead. My blood turned to ice. There was more evidence out there. Evidence that could destroy her case, or worse, twist it again. And someone on the outside was about to make it vanish. The clock was ticking, and the safe deposit box was already in motion, but who was Vanessa's mystery contact, and what explosive secret was hidden inside? The station corridor suddenly felt colder, the fluorescent hum louder, as Vanessa's whispered phone call replayed in my head like a looped recording, the second set of documents, in the safe deposit box. Make sure they disappear. Tonight. Detective Reyes was already moving, radio in hand, barking orders before the call had even ended on the line. Get me the bank records on Vanessa Hargrove. Every safe deposit box she's ever rented. Cross-reference with any aliases, joint accounts, anything. And put a hold on all access, emergency warrant in progress. She turned to me, eyes sharp. We're not letting this slip away. If there's another layer of evidence she's desperate to erase, we need it before her contact does. Mia squeezed my arm tighter. What could be worse than the locket and the brake line confession? Reyes didn't sugarcoat it. Insurance. Alibis. Maybe forged documents showing she was somewhere else the night of your mom's crash. Or proof she had help, someone else in on it from the beginning. If we don't get to that box first, she could still walk on technicalities. Dad was brought into the booth next, still handcuffed but allowed to see me through the glass. His face crumpled when our eyes met. Sarah. I'm so sorry. I should have listened. I should have protected you both. I pressed my forehead to the glass, voice cracking. Did you ever suspect her? Even once? He shook his head slowly. Never. She was always there, after the funeral, at the support group. She listened. She helped. I thought she was grieving too. Reyes cut in gently. We've pulled her phone records. She joined that grief group 2 weeks after your wife's death, before the official report even went public. She targeted you, Mr. Matthews. She knew exactly who you were. Dad's shoulders sagged further. I failed you. Both of you. Before I could answer, Reyes's phone buzzed. She stepped aside to take it, then returned with a grim nod. We got the list. Vanessa rented a safe deposit box at First National under her maiden name, 3 years ago. Access log shows 1 visit last week. No one's been in since. She looked at me. We're sending a team now. With a warrant. If she's got a partner, they might already be moving, but we're faster. The next hour dragged in agonizing slow motion. I sat on a hard bench in the hallway, Mia beside me, while officers rushed in and out. Dad was taken to a holding cell for processing, child endangerment charges still pending, though Reyes said they'd likely drop to neglect if he cooperated fully. Then Reyes reappeared, expression unreadable. They got to the box first, she said. My stomach dropped. But, she continued quickly, the contact didn't get away clean. Uniforms pulled him over 3 blocks from the bank, speeding, nervous, carrying a crowbar and gloves. He's in custody. Name's Derek Voss. Private investigator. Vanessa hired him last month. She held up a sealed evidence envelope. Inside the box, burner phone, fake ID templates, a second diary, more detailed. Timelines, payments, even a list of contingencies if the arsenic plan failed. One entry stands out. Reyes opened the envelope just enough for me to see the top page. Written in Vanessa's tight script. If daughter survives long enough for 18th birthday, activate Plan B Voss to stage home invasion. Make it look like Sarah took her own life after discovering she poisoned her stepmother in revenge. Leave note confessing everything. Trust fund reverts to Michael. Clean slate. The hallway spun. Vanessa hadn't just wanted me dead, she'd planned my suicide, my ruin, my final frame job. Reyes closed the envelope. She's finished. Voss is talking already, flipped in the first 10 minutes. He's giving us everything. I exhaled, shaky. So, it's really over? Reyes met my eyes. Almost. We still need to process the new evidence. But Vanessa's not getting bail. Not now. As she walked away to coordinate, my phone, finally turned on by an officer, lit up with a single new message. From an unknown number. 1 word only. Soon. I stared at the screen, pulse roaring in my ears. The message vanished seconds later, deleted remotely. But I'd seen it. And so had the officer standing behind me. The unknown number was a ghost, but the threat was real, and the person who sent it was already closer than anyone realized. The single-word message, soon, disappeared from my screen like smoke, but the officer behind me had already snapped a screenshot. He radioed it in immediately, voice clipped, unknown sender, remote delete. Trace the number. Priority 1. Detective Reyes appeared seconds later, phone to her ear, coordinating with cyber forensics. We're pulling carrier logs now. Burner phone most likely, but they always leave a trail, tower pings, purchase location, something. I stared at the blank screen, heart slamming against my ribs. She's locked up. How is she still doing this? Reyes met my eyes. She isn't. Not directly. That call earlier was to her contact. Derek Voss is in custody, but she had contingencies. Multiple layers. People on payroll who don't even know the full picture. Mia's voice shook. So there's someone else out there. Someone who just threatened Sarah. Reyes didn't soften the truth. Possibly. We're treating it as credible. You're under protective detail until we clear this. They moved me to a secure wing of the station, plainclothes officers outside the door, blinds drawn, no windows facing the street. Dad was in a separate area, still being questioned but now under suicide watch after his breakdown. I hadn't seen him since the mirror moment, and part of me wasn't ready. Around 2 a.m., Reyes returned with updates. The text came from a prepaid burner bought with cash at a convenience store 2 towns over, 3 days ago. No fingerprints, no CCTV hit yet. But the timing matches, purchased the same day Vanessa hired Voss for the Plan B contingency. She sat across from me, lowering her voice. We also cracked the second diary from the safe deposit box. It lists 3 names, assets. One is Voss. The other 2 are unknowns. One is marked cleanup crew. The last entry reads, if all else fails, activate final protocol. No loose ends. My mouth went dry. Final protocol? Reyes nodded. We think it's a kill switch. Something designed to eliminate you even if she's behind bars. Maybe a hired hit, maybe an accident staged to look self-inflicted. We're running every name in her contacts, every payment she ever made. I wrapped my arms around myself. I just want it to end. It will, Reyes said firmly. But we need you alive to make sure it sticks. You're the key witness. Without you, she could spin reasonable doubt for years. A soft knock interrupted. An officer handed Reyes a tablet. She scanned it, then looked at me. We got a hit on the second name in the diary. Cleanup crew. Real name, Marcus Hale. Ex-military, discharged dishonorably. Last known address, a cabin 30 miles north of here. We're mobilizing SWAT now. I exhaled shakily. And the third? Reyes hesitated. Still unknown. But the diary has a code phrase next to it, guardian angel. Whoever it is, they're close. Someone you might trust. Someone already in your circle. My mind raced through faces, teachers, neighbors, friends of Dad's. Then it hit me. Olivia.no, Mia. My best friend, the one who'd been by my side since the beginning, documenting everything, pushing me to get tested, offering her house as a safe place. But she'd been the one to suggest the clinic. The one who knew every symptom. The one who always had my back, maybe too perfectly. I shook my head. It can't be Mia. Reyes studied me. We're checking everyone. Including her. Don't contact anyone until we clear them. As she left to coordinate the raid on Hale's cabin, my protective detail tightened. I sat in the dim room, listening to the muffled voices outside the door. Then my phone, now monitored and restricted, lit up with one final incoming text from the same unknown number before it was blocked forever. Just 4 words this time: Guardian Angel is watching. I dropped the phone like it burned, because across the hall, through the small window in the door, I saw Mia standing there, talking quietly to an officer, looking straight at me, and for the first time, her smile didn't feel like comfort. It felt like a warning. SWAT was rolling toward the cabin, but the real danger wasn't miles away. It was already inside the station, closer than anyone imagined. The station clock read 4:47 a.m. when Detective Reyes burst back into the secure wing, face flushed with urgency. SWAT hit the cabin. Marcus Hale, the cleanup crew, was there. He tried to run. They took him alive. He's talking. I sat up straighter, exhaustion warring with adrenaline. What did he say? Reyes exhaled. Everything. Vanessa hired him months ago as backup. If the poisoning failed, he was supposed to stage your suicide after your 18th birthday, make it look like guilt drove you to it. He had the forged note already drafted, even a burner phone set up to send that final text from your account. But he never got the call. Because we got to boss first. And the third name? I asked, voice barely above a whisper. Guardian angel. Reyes's expression softened for the first time. We ran every contact, every favor, every late-night call Vanessa made. The codename wasn't a person. She slid a printout across the table. It was a screenshot of Vanessa's phone notes, buried in a password-protected folder labeled contingencies. The entry read: Guardian angel, Sarah's best friend, Mia. Leverage emotional trust. If she suspects, feed her just enough truth to keep her loyal. She'll never believe Sarah would doubt her. Perfect cover. My breath caught. Mia, my rock, the one who documented every symptom, dragged me to the clinic, offered her house as sanctuary. Vanessa had counted on that loyalty. Counted on me never suspecting the person closest to me. But Reyes continued. We interrogated Mia an hour ago. She broke down crying. She had no idea Vanessa was using her. Vanessa approached her 6 months ago, said she was worried about Sarah's mental health, asked Mia to keep an eye on her, even gave her a small monthly allowance for helping out. Mia thought she was being a good friend. When she realized what it really meant tonight, she handed over every message, every dollar, every detail. Mia was escorted into the room next, eyes red, handcuffs loose around her wrists. She looked at me like I'd been stabbed. Sarah, I swear I didn't know. I thought Vanessa was just concerned. I never would've. I held up a hand, stopping her. The silence stretched. Then I spoke, voice steady despite the ache. I believe you. Mia sobbed. Reyes uncuffed her on the spot. She's cooperating fully. No charges. But she'll be questioned again. For now, she's free to go, with supervision. As the night bled into dawn, the pieces finally locked together. Vanessa's empire of lies crumbled under the weight of her own contingencies. Boss, Hale, the forged documents, the burner texts, all seized. The DA had enough for life without parole, no deal, no early out. Mom's case was officially homicide. Dad, facing only neglect charges, agreed to testify against Vanessa fully, trading leniency for truth. I was released into protective custody at Mia's house, ironic, but safest, under 24/7 watch until the trial. 5 months later, my 18th birthday, I stood in the courtroom as the judge read Vanessa's sentence, 3 consecutive life terms, no possibility of parole. She didn't look at me once. Just stared ahead, that same calm mask finally cracked by the reality she could no longer control. Dad waited outside after. He looked older, broken, but trying. I can't fix what I did, he said quietly. But I'm here now. If you'll let me. I studied him for a long moment. Maybe someday, I answered. Not today. I walked away, the trust fund papers signed, the house mine, the kitchen scrubbed clean of every trace of her poison. Mia stood waiting by the car, still my friend, scarred but honest. We drove home in silence, then sat on the porch as the sun set. I almost lost you, she whispered. You didn't, I said. Because you were there when it mattered most, even if you didn't know why. That night, I opened my journal and wrote the final entry. Mom, I survived what took you. I exposed the truth. I believed in myself when no one else did. And I promise, no other girl will ever have to fight alone to be heard. The bitter taste of betrayal never fully fades. But it taught me something stronger. Truth isn't fragile. It's a weapon. And once you wield it, no poison can touch you again. I closed the journal, looked at the stars, and for the first time in years, I breathed easy. I was alive. I was free. And that was the sweetest revenge of all.